Okay.
Alright, well, hi.
Hello.
We just came back from watching the new live-action Dumbo. And I have a lot to talk about. I don't know how about you.
I loved it. I mean, I'm in love with an elephant.
All over again, huh?
Yeah, all over again.
Because, you know, she basically grew up with the first one.
Right. And I even have a little stuffed Dumbo from Disney. And, you know, so there you go.
And, yeah, if you've seen a housefly, you've seen a horsefly, you've seen a dragonfly.
Well, you ain't never seen an elephant fly.
Yeah, so
until now.
This is definitely a different take on the classic.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike a lot of the other live-action Disney ones, I don't think you can compare the two.
No.
This time. The animated Dumbo is a completely different experience than this live-action one. And it's not a bad thing.
No.
There's just two different movies.
Right.
This time they focused a lot more on the human aspect. Not a single animal in this one talks.
No.
They have like anthropomorphized moments where they are definitely showing more intelligence than an animal should. But that's about it. It focuses almost primarily on the human characters. And that changes everything. But not necessarily for the worst. And there are certain aspects that make it clear this was directed by Tim Burton.
Yes.
But it's also not what a lot of people expect when you hear a movie's directed by Tim Burton.
Right. It's not that dark. It's not...
He does what he always does. He does what he does best, and that is world building and characterization.
Right.
Every character in this movie that has more than one line, you are invested in. Every character that has 2 lines or more, you care about this character in one way or another.
Now, there's only one that I didn't care about, and he got what he deserved, so...
I think I'm going to say that you cared. You just wanted something bad to happen to him.
I just wanted him to get his comeuppance.
Yeah, so that's a care. It's just
true.
not a...
That's true. So, okay, yeah, I cared. I cared that he got...
You were invested.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a particular character that was cruel to the animals. And karma had been dealt with. Which leads me to another point that I actually was impressed with in this movie. And that is an on-screen death in a Disney movie.
You don't see that often. In fact, I think this is the first time I have seen it.
It's very uncommon in a Disney film to actually show someone die.
Right.
Now, they did it in a way that is still kid-friendly. You don't actually see the real impact or the aftermath of. You just see, oh, this happened. He's no doubt dead. One of the next scenes, you actually see the coroner wheel the guy out covered in a sheet. So you don't see the real aftermath of the injuries, but he's dead. Right,
with the classic hat that he always wore on top of the body.
If it wasn't obvious who the character was.
Right.
Yeah.
Happens early on in the movie, and I didn't hear any little kids crying or screaming or...
Oh yeah, there were kids in the audience.
I didn't hear any of that, so...
There were kids in the audience and they were fine.
So it didn't traumatize anybody, so
right.
Don't go saying, oh, well, it traumatized the kids. Nope.
Not from what I've seen.
Nope. Didn't seem to traumatize the kids at all.
Those kids were fine.
That's right.
They were kind of happy the mean man went away.
I think Dumbo falling into the net traumatized them more than the guy being killed did.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh no. But, you know, I was, no.
Oh
but,
no, the CGI elephant.
Yeah, really.
But
gonna land on that lady down there.
Yeah, wound up being fine.
It always
wound
does.
up sitting in the net and just looking over to her like, hey.
Hi. Did we do that?
But, there are several moments that are just definitely Tim Burton. Mm-hmm. If you ever wanted to watch Disneyland burn...
Oh, yeah. That's Tim Burton.
There is a...
written all over it.
It isn't actually Disneyland. It's a place they call Dreamland. But it's basically Disneyland.
Exactly.
It is kind of an equivalent, which adds a little additional boldness to it. That a Disney film made a dark reflection on Disneyland.
Right. It is rather like what would happen, what it would look like if Disneyland did burn, or World, or whatever.
And
absolutely.
if Walt Disney was truly as evil as a lot of people were trying to claim.
Right.
Because the real villain of this this movie is basically a Walt Disney equivalent who is not a good person and, obsessed with money,
he's
of
Walt
course.
Disney's evil twin.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's the dark reflection. It's what a lot of people believed Walt Disney was like.
Yeah. And since I never knew the man, he could have been that way, but he certainly didn't come across that way.
Yeah, so a lot of bold choices in this movie that I actually have to congratulate for. It's like all human, the human focus, not a single. It wasn't a musical. Not a single one of the songs. Well, they did. It's like they did like instrumental versions of a few things. If you think Dumbo being directed by Tim Burton, you absolutely have to have the Pink Elephants on Parade thing happen.
And that was done very, very well.
It did happen.
But not because Dumbo got into
not because
a drink or anything.
He didn't get drunk.
But
it became a circus, part of a circus act.
Very well done. Very well done.
It's like Circus Spectacular is where we got the Pink Elephants moment, and it looked great. Mm-hmm. There was even a moment...
the price of the ticket.
Yeah, that itself would have been worth the price of admission. I told Mom that in the theaters.
Yeah.
Like, if this was a real attraction...
Absolutely.
I want to go to see the bubble act. Because what they're doing with these bubbles is amazing.
Really?
But, they even called to the... Before it actually happened, earlier on, they even called to the Pink Elephants on Parade. They did a reference to it. Because they had a couple of clowns celebrating... And one of the people in charge went like, "No drinking around the baby," talking about Dumbo.
He said, "And some for Dumbo." Oh, no drinking around the baby. So the clown kind of walked off like,
okay, more for me. But it's like, because he got drunk in the original. And speaking of the original, there's a lot of moments in the original animated Dumbo that, by today's standards, would be horrifically racist.
Oh, absolutely.
And there was none of that in this.
No.
There even was a few moments where they could have gone in a racist moment, and they totally didn't.
No.
And it's great. They had Rongo the Strongman, the Strong, who is, of course, a big, huge, black, muscular man, part of the, act. He's a strongman. He also happens to be the circus's accountant.
And the drummer.
A lot of skills that he has. So it's not just one note. And it's like, good on him for being like so multi-talented.
He wore a lot of different hats and he was changing them all the time.
And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Good on him.
But everybody in the circus got along pretty well. It was a nice little family.
The circus was fine. It's when you got the Disneyland equivalent where things went all screwy halfway through the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Danny DeVito made a very good ringmaster.
Oh, he made an excellent
circus owner. And Michael Keaton made an excellent bad guy.
Excellent Walt Disney.
I mean, he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
so.
He was. He was an absolute bad guy. Batman was a good bad guy.
Oh, I know. And that's
again.
Again, yeah.
Because he did it. He was Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. He did a great job then, too. But...
He's a good actor.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Good actor.
And So yeah, I very much enjoyed this movie. I can recommend it easily.
Oh yeah, take your kids, take your mom, take your dad. You know.
If you were at all interested in the movie from the trailers, you'll love it. Go see it.
Absolutely.
If you're a fan of the original, you probably still will love this.
I did.
If you love Tim Burton movies, you probably will like this. Of course, if you had absolutely no interest in it, looking at the trailers and everything involved, then this probably isn't for you, and you might not want to see it.
Right.
But I think that's it for me. The next one I think I have on my list to review will be next week, I think, with Ian. Because we're going to be seeing DC's Shazam!
Yay!
But that's it for me, and all I have to say about Dumbo.
Yeah.
Unless you want to add anything.
Go see it. Good movie.
Okay, and see ya.
Stay crafty.